Hi. I guess my Lizzie wanted to be part of this. She jumped on my shoulder and on my chest, and she wanted some love from her mama. I was sending a message here because I know it's been a while since I've done it. I've been going through, I said in the past, and probably you hear me a lot, I've been going through a lot with my depression, plus dealing with a lot of stuff around the house. I've been also preparing for a speech because between Grace and I, we're going to be doing some Vespers services, and I'm like the third one, and one of the things I'm going to be doing is a lot of spiritual. And as I was going through my Bible again, because I was looking for a text that was really my favorite, and you have to excuse me memorizing things, because I try to memorize Bible verses, and although I may not remember the exact words, I do remember what it was about. And one of the things that I've been experiencing today, along with some other parents, is again the loss. We're losing boys with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, the sadness of some of them going into heart failure, the sadness of how some of them has to go on to be on the trach to breathe. And Jesus talks about in the book of John, how he went to the Bethesda, and there was so many people there that was very ill, paralyzed, sick from some kind of disease, illness, that made them impossible to do things on their own. Well, one man laid there paralyzed most of his life, and everybody knew that he was very ill. But Jesus told him to pick up his mat and to walk, and this just happened to be on a Sabbath. But you know, with Jesus, with his healing, with his people who were suffering, it didn't matter whether it was Sabbath. To him, that was not considered work. To him, that meant helping somebody who believed in him, who had faith, who trusted him. And they did more so after his healing, when they realized that their body was now renewed. And not only did their bodies become renewed, so did their minds. Their minds were transformed and renewed, which the book of Romans talks about. So it saddens me that we know that Jesus did this to many people, but we wonder why with our boys with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, why there was no healing. And I'm sure there's a good reason why God put these boys into our lives. I'm sure there's a good reason why they were not healed by Jesus. And it's not to say he didn't love. And it's not to say that we didn't have enough faith or we didn't believe in him, as we did. But I think often God puts people in our lives for a reason. And he puts them in our lives to help us to learn and grow to be more of a servant for him. And it is through them that we become better people. It's through their illness and the sadness of sorrows that we deal with on an everyday basis of when they're alive and when they have passed, that God uses them as his servants to help us to grow to be like him. I know this is very hard to understand, and I know it's very hard to accept. And I know there are many parents like me who are angry after we lose our sons. And it's okay to be angry. It really is okay to be angry. And if you need to be angry, it's okay. God understands. He's not going to walk away because you're angry. He's still going to be there by your side. So it may be that there's something in our lives we need to look deep into it to see why God put Joshua or Austin or Timothy or Justin or you know, whatever their names may be. God put them in our lives for a reason, and we need to look deep into ourselves to why he did. But then we also need to thank Him and praise Him that they are in our lives. This might be very hard to understand, but it's God's plan and it's in God's hands. And we got to just trust Him. Yes, we're going to be angry. That's okay. But trust Him. Just trust Him and let Him somehow teach us through our boys.